Welcome to the first episode of Speak Like a PM.
It is so fantastic to have you here. This channel is really designed to be your most effective way to learn new vocabulary, improve your listening and speaking skills,
Yeah.
and ultimately help you, the project manager, speak English fluently to reach those career goals.
Absolutely. And we are just so happy you decided to take this step. I mean, it's a huge goal, isn't it?
It is.
Mastering business English while you're also trying to manage stakeholders and timelines and budgets. It's a lot. I'll be honest with you, I barely managed to drag myself out of bed this morning.
Oh, I know that feeling.
You know,
I know it all too well.
the mental load of this week is just already piling up and it's barely started.
And it's not just the physical tiredness, right? It's that pre-work exhaustion. You're already mentally calculating risks and, drafting emails in your head before you've even had your first coffee.
That is it, exactly. I was lying there thinking about 3 different Jira tickets. But, looking at our listeners, metaphorically speaking, they're here. They're showing up.
Yeah.
They are ready to optimize their communication, which is, that's half the battle.
Well, and remember, not every day has to be perfect. We're all in this thing together. And that's actually a great segue into what we're doing today.
Right.
We aren't just going to give you a random list of words to memorize. We're going to walk through a roadmap of a typical day for a project manager.
That's right. We're going to navigate the psychology of the day from that early morning stand-up where everyone is a bit groggy, all the way to the evening release when you can finally relax. And along the way, we're going to equip you with 10 powerful phrases. But, and this is important, we're going to discuss why these phrases work better than the alternatives.
Exactly. Context is everything. These are real, natural English phrases used in business every single day. They bridge that really difficult gap between textbook English and true executive presence.
Okay, let's do it. Let's dive in. Okay, Let's set the scene. It's the start of the day, 9 a.m., maybe 10 a.m. if you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
You're at the morning stand-up meeting, probably still holding your coffee, maybe trying to step out of autopilot mode. You know that feeling.
Oh, definitely. You're physically there, standing in this circle or staring at that Zoom grid, but your brain is still booting up.
Right.
You're scanning the board, just hoping nothing exploded overnight and trying to remember what you actually did yesterday.
Yes. Now, in this moment, you need to drive the team. You need to make sure they know what is important for the next 24 hours. But, and this is the key, you don't want to sound like a dictator.
No.
A lot of non-native speakers, they kind of default to imperative language, like, you must do this or finish this today.
Which is, grammatically correct, sure, but
Yeah.
socially it can be a disaster.
How so?
It just kills morale because it strips the autonomy away from the team. You want to be a servant leader, not just a boss. So here's the first phrase to help you do that really effectively.
Okay, the phrase is, this feature is a top priority for the sprint, so we need to stay focused on it.
Let's break that down. This feature is a top priority for this sprint.
Why does that specific phrasing work so much better than, say, please finish this today?
It's all about objectivity. When you say do this, it's a command from you as a person to them as a person. It feels personal. It feels like you're just exerting power.
Ah, okay.
But when you say this is a top priority, you are pointing to the project's requirements. You're sort of removing yourself from the equation. It shifts the focus from your authority to the project's needs.
That is a really valuable distinction. It kind of depersonalizes the pressure. It's not, I want this, it's the sprint needs this.
Precisely. It signals where their energy should go without micromanaging how they use that energy. It just cuts through the noise of that morning fog and aligns the team immediately.
Okay, so you set the priorities, everyone knows what they need to do, but we've all been in that stand-up where things start to go sideways.
Oh, the dreaded rabbit hole meeting.
You know the one. My brain feels like it has 10 browser tabs open at once during these, and then suddenly 2 developers start arguing about a database migration or some specific line of code.
Right, or some deep technical thing about an API endpoint that involves exactly 2 people, while the other 6 are just, checking their phones or rolling their eyes.
And you can feel the energy draining out of the room. You have to save the schedule. The temptation is to just say, stop talking, we don't have time.
So rude.
It's rude, isn't it?
It is. It just shuts people down and makes them feel like their work isn't valued.
Yeah.
You need a phrase that validates their discussion but moves it somewhere else.
Okay.
This is where you use phrase number 2. Let's take this offline to avoid slowing down the stand-up.
Let's hear that one more time. Let's take this offline.
Take this offline. It is an absolute lifesaver for a PM.
Okay, let me play devil's advocate for a second. Does offline imply that the conversation isn't important? Like you're saying, take this offline because I don't care.
Not at all, and that's why the context here really matters. You aren't saying shut up. You are saying this topic is too complex for this specific 15-minute format.
I see.
By saying take it offline, you are actually giving them permission to have a longer, deeper conversation later, without holding the rest of the team hostage.
I really like that framing. It frames the interruption as a productivity hack for everyone.
It is.
You're respecting the time of the people listening and the complexity of the topic for the speakers.
Exactly. It shows you're guarding the team's time, and that is high-value PM behavior. It shows you are in control of the flow.
So you've survived the stand-up. The day is moving forward. But now we transition to the middle of the day. This is where things usually get a bit messy.
Yes.
You might get stuck in traffic, metaphorically speaking, of course.
The midday rush. This is when the plans you made in the morning just sort of collide with reality. Delays happen. Blockers appear.
Right. And you have to explain these delays to clients or stakeholders. This is a real danger zone for English learners. I hear a lot of people just say, "We are late," or "We couldn't finish." How does that sound to a stakeholder?
Well, "we are late" sounds like a failure of competence. It sounds like you didn't work hard enough or you planned poorly. It just invites scrutiny and micromanagement.
Exactly. It feels so personal and culpable. So we have a better phrase for you. Phrase number 3.
And that is, currently we're being held up by the design team, so I'll follow up with them today.
Let's listen to that grammar structure again. We're being held up.
Yes.
This is the passive voice, right? I mean, usually writing guides and English teachers tell us to avoid the passive voice because it's weak. Why would we use it here?
Because in crisis management and business politics, the passive voice is a shield.
A shield.
Yeah. Being held up implies an external force is acting upon you. It's not that we are slow, it's that something is stopping us.
So it subtly shifts the blame without, throwing people under the bus directly. You aren't saying the design team is lazy.
Right.
You're just saying we are being held up by the output of that team.
It's a very professional way to maintain your image of competence while reporting a delay. It sounds like you're managing the situation rather than just failing at it. And notice the second half of the sentence. I'll follow up with them.
Ah, right. So you identify the blocker, then immediately identify the action you are taking. It shows momentum.
Correct. And speaking of managing situations, what happens when a real problem appears? Not just a delay, but something actually breaks.
The panic moment. You get that Slack message. The build failed, or the API isn't responding.
Right.
And as a PM, your instinct might be to rush into the client meeting and be completely honest. We have a big problem.
Never ever scream disaster. If you look panicked, the client will panic twice as hard. You need to be the thermostat, not the thermometer. You set the temperature of the room.
Ah, I love that analogy. Okay, so instead of disaster, try phrase number 4.
That phrase is, we've hit a slight snag with the API integration, but we're already looking into it.
I love that word. Snag. We've hit a slight snag.
It sounds so manageable, doesn't it?
It really does.
Think of the imagery. A snag is just a small pole, like a thread caught on a nail. It's annoying, sure, but it doesn't ruin the whole garment. It's not a wall, it's not a cliff, it's just a snag.
It totally minimizes the emotional drama. If you tell a client we have a huge problem, they start thinking about budget and lawsuits and cancellations. If you say we hit a slight snag, they think, oh, okay, technical stuff, they're handling it.
It acknowledges the problem. Transparency is important, you can't lie. But the adjective slight and the noun snag work together to keep the emotional temperature really low. It buys you time to actually fix it.
Right, without someone breathing down your neck.
Exactly.
Now, sometimes the snag isn't the technology. Sometimes it's the human element. What if your lead developer is just completely buried under work? And you need to explain to a stakeholder why that developer can't join a meeting or answer an email right now.
Yeah, you don't want to say he's ignoring you or he has too much work. That just sounds like bad resource management.
So what do you say?
We use phrase number 5. Our lead dev is currently tied up with a critical bug, so we might need to reshuffle some tasks.
Tied up. That's the key phrase here.
It creates a really strong visual, doesn't it? Being tied up.
It does. Like you are physically bound to the desk by the work.
Right.
Using ropes. You literally cannot move to do anything else.
It's a very professional excuse.
Yeah.
It implies They are busy with something essential. In this example, a critical bug. It justifies their unavailability immediately.
Right.
It suggests that if they could help, they would, but they are physically restrained by priorities.
It also protects your team, too. It tells the stakeholder, don't bother them. They're doing something more important than talking to you right now. So we've made it past the morning. We've navigated the midday blockers. Now we are hitting that dreaded time of day, the afternoon slump, 2:30 p.m.
The time when the coffee wears off, the lunch crash hits, and the energy levels just tank.
You are exhausted. And then, ping, a new request comes in. Can you just quickly look at this? Your instinct might be to just say, no, or to sigh really loudly, but no is a dangerous word in business.
No is a dead end. But saying yes when you don't have the capacity, well, that's a lie. Setting boundaries is such a critical skill for working in English.
So what's the phrase?
Phrase number 6. My plate is quite full at the moment, but I can jump on this task later this afternoon.
My plate is quite full. That's such a great idiom.
It relies on that metaphor of a dinner plate at a buffet. You only have so much physical space for food, or in this case, for tasks.
Yeah.
If you add more, something's going to fall off and make a mess on the floor.
It's a very relatable way to say, I'm at capacity without complaining about it. It invites empathy. The listener just visualizes the full plate and understands immediately.
And notice the second part of that sentence. I can jump on this task later. You aren't rejecting the work forever. You're just scheduling it. You're managing expectations.
It transforms you from someone who is unhelpful to someone who is organized. I can't do it now because I'm prioritizing X, but I will do it then.
Exactly. It commands respect. People respect PMs who know their limits and protect their focus.
All right, now we are heading toward my favorite part of the day, the soft landing.
Wrapping up. The sun is going down. The notifications are finally slowing down.
Work mode is starting to turn off. You've finished a big chunk of work. How do you communicate that success to the team? You don't want to just say, I finished. It's a bit dry.
You want to celebrate the progress, the closure. So you can use phrase number 7. We've managed to wrap up the task ahead of schedule.
Wrap up. That is a classic phrasal verb.
It brings to mind wrapping a present. It means finishing something completely, folding the edges, taping it shut, putting a bow on it.
It feels satisfying to say, we wrapped it up. It implies completion and tidiness. It's not just done, it's packaged and ready for delivery.
And when you wrap things up, that usually leads to a good feeling about the overall project health, which brings us to phrase number 8.
This is for that feeling of a little win. You want to reassure everyone, especially those anxious stakeholders who are always worried about the calendar.
Right. Phrase number 8 is, overall, we are on track to meet the deadline.
On track. Short and sweet.
It's a railway metaphor, right? The train is on the rails. It's going where it is supposed to go, at the speed it is supposed to go.
It's the one thing every stakeholder wants to hear. We are on track. Quick warning here, though. Only use this if it's true.
That's a very good point. Don't use on track as filler. But if you are hitting your milestones, say it clearly. It builds confidence instantly.
It tells the stakeholder, you don't need to worry about this. I'm driving the train, and the train is fine.
Right.
Okay, so you are on track. You've wrapped up your tasks. You're about to crash on the sofa for the night. But you need to send one last update before you disappear.
Yes, you don't want to just ghost people. In a remote world, disappearing without a word creates anxiety. You want them to know that communication will continue.
Right. And for that, we have phrase number 9. I'll keep you in the loop regarding the client's feedback.
Keep you in the loop. This is an essential business idiom.
Where does that one come from?
It actually comes from aviation flying a loop. But in business, to be in the loop means to be included in that circle of information flow.
And if you are out of the loop, you don't know what's going on.
Which is a terrible feeling for a client or a boss.
So promising to keep someone in the loop is a promise of transparency.
It's a great way to sign off. It says, I am not abandoning this. Even though I am leaving for the day, I will pull you back into the circle as soon as new information arrives.
And finally, the very last thing you do, those tiny little tasks, checking the emails, saving the files, closing those 10 browser tabs we talked about.
For that, we have phrase number 10. Just tying up some loose ends.
Tying up loose ends.
Again, it's a textile or a thread metaphor. If you weave a rug, you have these little threads hanging off the edge. If you don't tie them, the whole thing might just unravel.
It's perfect for those last 15 minutes of the day. If a colleague pings you and asks, "What are you working on?" and you say tying up loose ends, it sounds really productive.
Even if you're mostly just organizing your desktop icons or archiving Trello cards.
Exactly. It signals that the heavy lifting is done, the main work is finished, and you are just doing the necessary housekeeping to ensure a clean start tomorrow.
And with that, work mode is officially OFF.
We made it. We navigated the whole day. But as with any good deep dive, we aren't letting you go just yet.
That's right. Passive listening is great, but active recall is how you actually learn. We need to see if these phrases stayed with you.
It's time for the word tour. Okay, here's how this is going to work. We're going to give you a definition or a scenario. Then we're going to pause for about 6 seconds. We want you to use that time to say the answer out loud.
Don't just think it, speak it. Test your pronunciation.
Okay, here we go. Number 1. How do you say you finished a task using a phrasal verb? Think about making a present look nice.
The answer is to wrap up.
How'd you do? Okay, number 2. What phrase do you use when you encounter a problem, but you want to emphasize that it is small and manageable? No drama.
I hit a slight snag.
Number 3. How do you say you are being delayed by another team? Remember to use the passive voice to avoid blame.
The answer is to be held up.
Number 4. What is a professional way to say you or your developer is physically unable to do a task because they are busy with something else? Think about the rogue.
The answer is to be tied up.
Halfway there. Number 5. How do you describe a task that is the single most important thing for the sprint?
The answer.
A top priority.
Number 6. What do you say when you want to stop a side conversation in a meeting without being rude?
You say, take this offline.
Number 7. What idiom means finishing the last few small, messy parts of a project?
The answer is tying up loose ends.
Number 8. How do you promise to give someone regular updates so they don't feel excluded?
Going to keep someone in the loop.
Almost done. Number 9. What idiom describes having too much work to do at the moment? Think about the buffet.
The answer is my plate is full.
And finally, number 10. What phrase means that everything is going according to the plan and schedule? The train is moving.
The answer is on track.
Phew. How did you do? If you got all 10, you are officially ready to sound like a senior PM tomorrow. And if you missed a few, please don't worry. That is completely normal. To make sure these phrases don't slip your mind, we have prepared a complete list for you in the description.
Yes, check the description. It has definitions and examples. You can copy them into your Quizlet or Anki decks. It is the best way to make the material stick.
We've even included a table you can import directly. We really want to make this as easy as possible for you.
Thanks for spending part of your day with us. We know how busy you are, and investing in your communication skills is really the highest leverage activity you can do.
Keep practicing, and remember to be kind to yourself on those busy days. Learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint.
And since this is our very first episode, we would love to hear from you. Please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment with your feedback. Let us know which phrase was your favorite.
We look forward to hearing from you.
Bye-bye.